I should say, upperclassman, not really technically because she's a sophomore, but she's that leader for this pitching staff. She's someone that's going to outcompete everyone, but her biggest thing, she's going to have that rise and change. So she's going to have to work that off speed. That is going to be huge.
Batting average and on base, Marissa Young's unit comes in with a lot of confidence offensively after run ruling Campbell on Wednesday.
It really doesn't let up. You have Malauulu leading off here. Again, she has so much veteran experience at UCLA.
And there's Tess going back up the middle. As a Trojan alum, I hate saying UCLA transfer, but I will give Tess a credit. Two-time College World Series participant with the Bruins, who since Madison Insco's gone down has eaten the #1 role and has done a great job in the back half here of ACC play.
And we saw earlier this season where it felt like it was almost a rotation after rotation, a few innings here and there, but I feel like these last couple weeks, Maxton's really ate it all up.
Forces weak contact to Michelle Tarpey. That's the storyline of this NC State team. How do they field the softball? Coming in at 9:56. Here's a 1-1 count. Gold takes a huge blast. 51 and counting. A no-doubter for the Queen of Durham.
Well, Gold doing what she does best. She hits the long ball, but I gotta say, did you see? That was a golf swing out of this ballpark. Now, everyone knows that home run hitting field, but that pitch down at her knees on the inside corner. There's not much more you could ask for from your pitcher with that type of pitch. Just Anna Gold is just that good every time she steps up to the plate. So you have to adjust when you're that good of a hitter because people are going to start watching a lot more film on you, find your weaknesses. You need to make your weaknesses your strengths.
Here's the here on a warm and fantastic Friday night in Raleigh. The ball's blasting out of here. Light post power ricochets into her bullpen.
Ellie Maxton.
That's the challenge for the ace of the pack staff as this ball's touched to center. Good coverage from Tori Ensley, who makes the start in center for Ellie Goins. Nice play. Tori typically the left fielder, so Michaela Marbury gets the start in left. There's a lot of speed in this state outfield. Ball goes back into the infield. Coach Young will push the buttons. There's a slow roller for Tegan Thrunk. And then Hannah Church, the first-year transfer into the pack. She's one of the home run leaders in the league. 17 bombs as Michelle Tarpey rolls one to Gold. What a pick by Baker, but safe. Because possession is right there. The ball never comes. Taylor with a blast to right, taking advantage of the overturned call. And a 2-run shot ties it.
If you want to hype up your team, this is exactly how to do it. Right away with a big bomb. That was an out. Able to just wait on. Look at that. Drugmuller doing a good job on that spot. Just left it a little high, in my opinion, but Taylor Ensley getting all of that and taking it to right field for that big home run. That is her. This defense, this pitching staff so far this season. She transferred from Pitt 2 years ago, but the biggest thing for her, she has multiple speeds, and that's what makes her so tough. Is
with some injuries, Danny's getting a ton of action in the last 3 weeks and has been really good, especially in the Notre Dame series last week.
Yeah, she has that drop, screw, but also a really good changeup, but then also an off-speed rise. So again, just multiple different speeds with everything she does.
Gets it's on the ground. Amina Vega, easy play, 2 away. And you're right, Drugmuller changing speed is going to be so important tonight.
No, it's what makes her so deadly, that she's able to just place those.
And here's Drugmuller giving up a rare home run. 2-run shot to her older sister. As Ensley pokes one into the mid at Jada Baker.
She'll take a step, stop, and then hit straight away, and you saw that on that foul ball.
She'd be great at Dance Dance Revolution. As she fights this one off to first. No one's covering the bag as Tarpey was going for it. And Burgess' speed beats it out. A bang-bang play. Duke beats it out. And now Baker pops it up. Simmers, long way to go, helping out her freshman counterpart, Massey. You see the smile between the two underclassmen on that left side of the infield. Wanted to see how she'd develop here at NC State. That's the future here for the left side of this defense.
And we saw it. Massey really wasn't playing too often, but she ended up getting a start for Hannah Goodwin over at third base.
And then Thomas puts a good swing here. That's tracked down by Marbury, one of the veterans of the Wolfpack.
As you said, down here in the 9-hole, but I think she's so good here.
That is ruled a foul ball.
And part of the reason why I think she's so good in this 9-hole is she's able to turn over this lineup. She finds ways to get on.
Since retired 4 of her last 5, embracing this role as ace here in year 2. Her 1-2 pitch is on the ground. Simmers backhands. There's the 2.5, and it's late.
Now batting for Duke, number 24, Tessa Malaulu.
And I say she made it.
And with this Duke team, it plays itself out more times than not. And hopes alive. Right through Maxton's legs. It's a base hit. The speed of Duke is thrown out at the plate. What a throw by Ensley. Tori said, I'm not letting my senior weekend go down quietly. Helping out Big Sis with a nice throw.
I definitely thought she was out. But it looks, that angle gave.
So she almost gets her closer to the
video evidence to be able to make that call.
So the call stands. What a play from Tori Ensley. You see what Kim Mulkey's doing?
I haven't.
She's sharing like fire emoji gifs of herself because all these kids in Malaysia, Full Willie of South Carolina, there's like 5 different players that LSU's landed in the portal in women's basketball. So Thrunk in an 0-2 hole. And she goes down with a rise pitch.
And she's such a tough out. You really don't know where to throw her. Like we just saw with Anna Gold with that big home run down in the dirt. It's pretty much the same thing for Amina Vega.
Well, Vega said, there's the power. Deep shot right center, her 9th. And Duke's back in front.
She heard you on that one, Evan. She says, I don't have power. I have some power.
She said, it's not just doubles for me.
Yeah, that pitch left right over the plate by Carly Maxton, frankly, right down the middle, and Amina Vega just took advantage.
She's laughing, which is good news.
That's good.
One thing we've seen from this Duke offense, everything hit's been hard tonight.
Now at the plate for Duke, number 32, Kyrie Rudd.
And they're being so aggressive. For them is making sure they're getting those hits and stringing them together.
Well, there's 8 hits. It's a 2-run homer for Rodriguez, and it's absolutely a home run party all of a sudden.
Home run number 4 on the day. But Rodriguez says, I wants to be a part of the party too. And
that's a nice touch. Not the Gatorade bottle, but the Stanley. It's trendy.
And that pitch was up in the zone right at the hands of Rodriguez, and she did a really good job. She actually opened up those hips and kind of took that step out. She's got to keep the ball low in the zone and also use that off speed.
Wynn was fantastic against North Carolina last weekend. 6 innings, no runs, 8 Ks. She moves the lineup very well.
And you say she came in for Claire Davidson. She kind of has a very similar story. She actually started out as a pitcher. She was at JMU, and she just said she couldn't throw past 62, so decided to be a hitter.
And then she rockets one past Massey over there at third base. So 9 hard hit balls for Duke. Burgess a pop-up. And there's Marbury for the first out. That's why Duke is a top 10 RPI. But to your point, some disappointing losses sprinkled in. And you look at Duke is, could they host? Could they not host? Well, at 18, they're right on that bubble of possibly hosting. No walks tonight from this state staff, but giving up 10 hits makes it a lot tougher. And now a full count. Evens the count.
with Hannah Church at the plate, I would say with the way that Jennings likes to run down the line, I probably would have looked at third first. You probably had a better chance of that out compared to getting Jennings going down the line. And you have a team like Duke and the type of lineup, these hitters that have come up right now, and I feel like she's starting to hit her spots and she's going after them.
Left center, and that's room. Tracked down by Marbury. Duke strands, the bases loaded. As this Duke staff battles injuries, Drugmiller's made a big presence in her COVID 5th year. Easy play for Amina Vega. Ensley. And gives up a walk to lead off the third with one out. What can Ensley do here with a 2-1 count? Smokes one to Vega. Nice defense. She threw a complete game win Wednesday. Amina Vega in this Duke offense, she led off last inning with a solo home run. Hits another one hard to right center. And Vega with the leadoff single.
For a school, you just think you have to hit it all the time. So to be able to just come in and say, I'm just going to hit the ball hard, I think is a veteran mindset.
Marissa Young called it poetry in motion. Watching Anna Gold. Here's a check swing that gets put in play. And a nice recovery by Wen Gore.
Felt like NC State has done a really good job of limiting those big innings for Duke.
Because it plays like that. Nice snag by Wen Gore. This will test Kendall Simmers, and she passes the test. Outs get out of the threat. A scoreless fourth for NC State. Will go to the bottom.
And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but just choosing that pitch that they want to go after. You have to kind of choose one speed.
There's the choice, and there's a base hit sitting on that change of speed. It's a good adjustment from Church. So this is Tori Ensley, who hit one really hard to first, and back-to-back at-bats, which turns one safe at first. 3 hits in that stretch. Gets a good swing there, and now the tying run comes to the plate with 2 outs in the 4th.
As a senior, when you're in these senior weekends and you want to come out there and play, but Elena Smith, she's had a ton of injuries.
Goes first pitch hacking, and a nice play from Drugmiller to end it with the 3 home runs. Scores come in, all scoreless since. And the Charlotte native battling here 2-2. Burgess ropes one under Simmers' mitt. That's going to roll to the fence, but a good cutoff by Tori Ensley.
Tori Ensley doing a really good job being able to get back and grab it.
Off of Gore's mitt, Simmers just hangs on to it, and everyone's safe on the single. See Kurt warming up.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see her later in this game.
Whoa, Thomas with a hook. It stays fair, and a 3-run shot. Brooklyn Thomas joins the home run fiesta. 4 bombs for the Blue Devils.
That's just her 2nd home run of the season. Brooklyn Thomas, ball low in the zone again. And Thomas does a good job just getting down underneath that. You can see her hands quiet. She got them in through quick.
Another pitcher play. Amina Vega, her 9th home run. Could this be 10? No, it'll stay in the yard for Michaela Marbury. Gore's 1-1. Jams Anna Gold. And that ends the inning.
Going to be so big. It's going to travel around the country. It's going to be over a multitude of cities. So even Raleigh, North Carolina. So right here, I have it in my bag at all times. Just to remind myself, like, hey, I got the golden ticket.
That was a great weekend last week for Duke.
You saw Massey, she was lunging at every one of those pitches. Yeah, so much power coming out of this team, so many home runs. They rely on the long ball, I'd say maybe a little too much.
Almost a long ball there, a long fly out to center. Because you're right, to your point, it's the two-run homer. That's been the offense. ACC tournament. 5 ranked teams in this conference, including Duke at 18th. What can Ensley do to follow up her home run in the first inning? A roller to third. Mala'olu saves it. Flicks her wrist, and what a play.
And Rodriguez, one of those home runs earlier in this game. So again, showing off her power.
Ropes one foul. Good adjustment from the 8th-year head coach at Duke. This one stays in play. And a nice adjustment from Tori Ensley. Whitaker finds it. Nice play, 2 away.
Lost 1-0. That's a close, tight game that they were playing. So it's not like they're losing to these teams by a lot.
Baker pops this one up to right, and one of the more battle-tested teams in the country in Duke. A diet of off-speed pitches and pitches out of the zone to Kendall Simmers.
And if I were Simmers coming up to the plate right now, I would sit changeup because that's the way that Drugmuller has been pitching her. It's one adjustment.
What an impactful first-year piece. She waits on a pitch and drives it up the middle, a base hit.
But Drugmuller hitting her spots today.
Yeah, Tori, you own it. You own it. Yeah, Tori.
Danny's bounced back really well from a tough start Saturday against Notre Dame. Forces weak contact. Anna Gold shows off the cannon. There's a second out. You can see why Anna Gold was a recruited shortstop out of high school. Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, Michaela. You got it.
Marbury on the ground. Gold doing everything right today. A home run, nice defensive plays, showing off her speed. And we'll go to the 7th with Duke up 6. NC State, they'll need a big comeback in the 7th. A loss tonight, and they start looking up in the standings as Brooklyn Thomas uncorks one all the way to the edge of the park.
Duke number 10, Deanna Jennings.
Jennings with a delayed bunt that goes foul.
In scoring position.
So the slow roller to Elena Smith and has to rush her throw. That's a mistake, and Duke takes advantage. And the ball rolled into the dugout, so the run scores. It's 9-2. And Jennings will actually be allowed to go to third because the ball went out of play.
Probably what Leftwich is asking right now is, should she be able to get third?
That's hits in 15 of her last 16 games for Tessa. Wants a 4-hit game here, but this will stay up, and Marbury tracks it down. You must have been a quick test taker. You got in and out, 30 minutes. I had a Saturday final one time.
I've had that, but not one that's that late at night. That's new to me.
Amina Vega on the ground. Elena Smith makes the recovery, and there's the second out. Hold her back, arms, knees, the whole thing to earn this playing time in her final weekend.
And one thing Gore did really well with her in her last at-bat is she jammed her hard inside.
Now she goes a little too far inside in the hit by pitch with 2 outs.
Her Gold got jammed up on her last pop fly that she had, but just a little too far on that one.
Pat, come on, man. Go ahead.
Coming all the way down to this part of the country, dominant. As Mathis fights that one off, the JMU transfer. She holds the bat in a unique approach too, kind of like my driver on 18. The thumb wrapped around, and she goes around on the pitch. So Wing Gore gets out of this 7th. We'll go to the bottom half with Duke up 7.
That's a ball and falling. Yeah, baby.
Last 4 outings, all 5+ innings, all put her team in a chance to win. and looks for a 5th straight win here tonight. This will test Donna Gold. Passes with flying colors. And we'll face the defensive replacement, now pitch hitter Elena Smith. This is Elena's 6th at-bat in. Smith goes back up the middle. Jennings charging in. Nice catch. There's the speed of Deanna Jennings. Judge caught it and then dove as he caught it. That time, I think it was necessary. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give it to him.
This pop-up will wrap it up. Danny Drugmiller, the complete game victory. And here's Duke, 10 straight wins in Raleigh. They'll take game 1 in dominant fashion, 9-2.
Overall, this Duke